Hello, welcome to the English news program in Azərbaycan Televiziya with the major developments of the day. I'm Gülər Hətamova. The new realities created by Azerbaijan in the region calls for peace and initiatives are supported by the international community. This is also evidenced by the discussions held during the regular meeting of the OSCE Council of Foreign Ministers in Stockholm after the Sochi meeting.
Just as the realities created by Azerbaijan in the region are perceived by the international community, so are the current calls for peace. The Sochi meeting confirmed the absolute coincidence of the approaches of Moscow and Baku in this matter. The heads of Russia and Azerbaijan adhere to the same position on the issues of demarcation and delimitation of borders, which are of fundamental importance at the current stage. The level of trusting relations between Azerbaijan and Russia, among other things, contributes to the fact that we find solutions on the most sensitive issues with Armenia. I think that the outcome of our meeting will produce good results, which will not be long in the coming, and the situation in the region will become safer and more predictable. We have agreed on a number of issues that I consider to be crucial. The first of them is the creation of mechanisms. We agreed to do this by the end of this year for the demarcation and delimitation of the border between the two states. I do hope this happens as soon as possible. There are no obstacles to the creation of these mechanisms. The fact that the status issue was not discussed at all either at the Sochi meeting or before it, and in the subsequent period in Western circles, confirms that the position of official Baku is dominant. At the Sochi meeting, the Prime Minister of Armenia also did not touch upon this issue, which indicates that Armenia has also come to terms with this reality. It is also noticeable that the West, which remained a little aside from the processes in the region, also began to adequately respond to the new situation. This could be traced during the discussions held at the next meeting of the OSCE Ministerial Council in Stockholm, in the course of the meetings of the Azerbaijani Foreign Minister with his European counterparts. The same rhetoric attracted attention in the calls of the US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, who spoke at that meeting. Quote, "We call on the parties to resolve other pending issues, such as delimitation and demarcation of borders, restoration of economic and transport links." End of quote. In any case, Azerbaijan's initiatives meet the interests of the entire region, as well as countries interested in cooperation with it, because only lasting peace and cooperation can become the guarantor of sustainable development.
The Azerbaijani serviceman who was on combat duty at one of the positions of Azerbaijan army in Khojavan district was attacked by a person of Armenian origin on December 3rd at about 1 p.m. The weary person tried to seize a weapon after shooting in the air with the aim of self-defense. Azerbaijan servicemen neutralized the provocateur who had attacked him. The incident was reported to the command of the Russian peacekeeping forces and the Russian-Turkish Joint Monitoring Center. The investigation is underway, the Ministry of Defense reported. According to a combat training plan for 2021, the rocket and artillery troops of the Azerbaijan army held the live-fire tactical exercises. The exercises improve the command staff, agile decision-making skills as well as knowledge and skills of servicemen by working out fire control and other issues in cooperation with other types of troops. During the exercises conducted in order to improve the field skills and practical skills of military personnel, artillery units were withdrawn to the assembly areas and took firing position in designated areas. The units destroyed the imaginary enemy targets with accurate fire and successfully fulfilled assigned tasks. The groups of sappers from the Special Risk Rescue Service of the Ministry of Emergency Situations continue operations to clear mines from the territories liberated from the occupation. A media tour is organized in connection with these operations, the participants of which first got acquainted with the mining work in the village of Maksudlu of Ağdam region. It was noted that after the 40-day war, the mining groups of the Special Risk Rescue Service were also involved in the process of clearing the territories from mines, unexploded ordnance and other items, along with other state bodies. The operations, which began in January 2021, are carried out mainly in the direction of Ağdam and Füzuli regions, in villages and settlements, as well as in territories adjacent to potable water basins. For the first time, dogs were involved in the mining operations involving Special Risk Rescue Service sappers. Azerbaijan supports the settlement of issues related to the establishment of bilateral relations with Armenia through dialogue. The support of the international community for the efforts to normalize relations between Armenia and Azerbaijan is important. Unilateral and biased approaches do not contribute to these efforts. Minister of Foreign Affairs J.BAYRAMOV stated that the 28th meeting of the OSCE Ministerial Council in Stockholm, at the meetings with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Netherlands, Ben Napen, as well as Foreign Minister of Belarus, Vladimir Makey, information was provided on the situation in the region after the conflict, steps taken by Azerbaijan to implement the trilateral statement, restoration and reconstruction work carried out in liberated territories. A meeting of the Euronest Parliamentary Assembly Bureau was held where Armenia's proposal against Azerbaijan was rejected. At the meeting held in a video conference, forward issues related to economic and political processes in the Eastern Partnership countries, the current situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, vaccination and regional security were raised. Head of Azerbaijan delegation to Euronest Parliamentary Assembly, Azar Karimli, informed about the provocations of Armenia on the border, noted the statement adopted on November 26th in Sochi. Azar Karimli stressed Azerbaijan is determined to reintegrate citizens of Armenian origin living on its territory into the political, social and economic space of our country. The work being carried out to establish trade, economic and communication ties in the region was also discussed. During the discussion, the Bureau's communication to the Eastern Partnership Summit, the Armenian side tried to force the adoption of the anti-Azerbaijani changes in the text, but as a result of a resolute protest from the Azerbaijani side, the proposal was rejected. The 10th anniversary of the Azerbaycan Cultural Center was celebrated in Moscow. The event was organized on the initiative of the Russian office of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation and the Rdomino All-Russian State Library for Foreign Literature.
The Azerbaycan Cultural Center was established 10 years ago on the initiative of Vice President of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation, Leyla Aliyeva. Exhibitions of Azerbaijani artists, literary evenings, film screenings were held here. Head of the Humanitarian Programs Department of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation's representative office in Russia, Tamila Akhmatova, thanked the management of the Foreign Literature Library for their cooperation. Director of Azerbaycan Cultural Center in Moscow, Nisa Mustafayeva, dwelt on the 10-year activity of the organization. Referring to the cultural ties between the two countries, the director of the library, Pavel Kuzmin, noted that the center successfully promotes the great and multifaceted culture of Azerbaijan. Within the framework of the event, a presentation of the book Azerbaijan, the Pearl of Turan by the Vice President of the National Academy of Sciences of Azerbaijan, Isa Habibeyli, and Professor Abuzar Baghurov took place. The publication includes monographs on various periods of the poetic heritage of Azerbaijan, at least with a 3,000-year history. The anthology monograph was compiled on the basis of materials from special 7 issues published over 5 years, 2015 to 2019, on the pages of the famous Literaturная Gazeta. The evening continued with performance of the laureate of international competitions, pianist Saida Taghzadeh.
That was all for the day. Keep up to date with all the news by following us on social media. Goodbye.